Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Abrazo Football Podcast. Recording on a Monday, which is uncharacteristic, but c'est la vie, as they say. So first
Gotta
and
get it done.
foremost, yeah, we got to get it done. A lot to talk about. We wanted to cover this mid last week, but we didn't get around to it. So big news, which everybody has heard by now. But Messi did not renew with PSG, which I think we knew, but he's moved on to join the major league, bottom of the major league soccer table in the Eastern Conference at least. Inter Miami. Is it Inter Miami FC? Inter Miami.
Yeah.
David Beckham's team, down in Miami. And Brooks, I guess we talked about this. We speculated what would he do? Would he go to, get the money, or would he go to MLS? And now we have the answer. He is, I mean, there's no contract, but he said, I'm going to Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts on
I mean,
this?
I think you knew I was pretty sad just because I was hoping. I mean, I don't have an issue with him going to MLS. I just still felt, I mean, this guy just won the World Cup. So, I mean, yeah, he's old, 35, but I feel like he still had at least another season in Europe. But I wanted that season to be here in Barcelona, but that obviously is not the case. So I'm very happy. I mean, when you listen to his interviews, like, this definitely sounds like it's what he wanted to do. It's like, obviously, he said he wanted to go to Barcelona, but he didn't want to be the one. Like, he's like, I've been talked about before. Like, I've been slandered before about like that I'm the reason Barcelona's in on this mess in the first place, and I didn't want them to have to cut wages for me. I didn't want people to have to leave the club for me. I didn't want any more talk about like, oh, like Messi's the reason Barcelona's in this trouble. So he's like, I just kind of wanted to wipe my hands of it. You can't beat. I mean, you really. I don't know. I think Barcelona's still the best, but I guess you second place if you want to, grow your North American market. Miami's not a bad place. You know,
Yeah,
I,
no, yeah.
yeah. So I don't know, but David Beckham is the biggest winner of all this because he promised these fans over 2 years ago they'd be getting huge names every season, and he's got nothing until now. So
Yeah.
good for him. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he landed the biggest star you could bring to
Yeah,
Major League Soccer. So yeah, let's just go through the numbers real quick. So first off, Major League, for those of you that don't know, or you probably know by now, season goes, it's a 1 year, like it's contained in. So the season starts in the spring and ends in the fall. And they play through the summer. So where European soccer just ended, Messi joining, he'll play half a season, so from probably late July on through October. If Miami makes the postseason, we do playoffs. He'll play through October and possibly all the way through December, and then the new season will start in April, and so on and so forth. So the season, so he'll be with Miami for 2.5 seasons technically, and over that period of time, I believe his contract is worth about, let's just say 150 million, I want to say. So I mean, that's, if we just do like, if we're not nickel and diamond seasons, he's getting about 50 million a season, and he's getting a revenue share from Apple TV Plus, because of him being brought in, and obviously not making like $500,000 like he would have in Saudi Arabia. So I mean, and I think there's probably also an opportunity for him to have his own franchise. Probably, San Diego or Las Vegas wants MLS because we're continuing to expand. I don't think they'll be happy until they have like 32 teams, and right now I think we're like 28-ish.
mm.
Brooks. But I feel like there's something else I was going to say, but
I mean, yeah. Keep
yeah.
thinking, but I just wanted to say, like right off the bat, I think you follow this much more than I do the NBA Finals. I just randomly read that it's cheaper to go to the like, game 4 or 5 of the finals in Miami than it was to go to the little tiny Inter Miami game, whereas his very first one, it was like it's more
Well,
expensive because
okay,
of this.
yeah. Okay, this is one thing I did see, and I think, okay, this is where I think things are a little bit foolish. So like, if you were a Messi fan for, let's say, for the last 15 seasons, you could have easily, well, maybe I shouldn't say easy, but so let's just put it this way. You could have gone to Barcelona,
Or
got a room
Paris.
in a hostel, or Paris, got a hostel, bought a ticket to see him in his heyday, arguably for
With other
cheaper
stars.
with other stars at a higher level of competition than what some people are trying to sell
That's
these
insane.
tickets for to see him. So I think there's like in the way people write these articles, like
Okay.
it's not that like for example, we don't RSL Real Salt Lake, we don't play Messi when he comes like this season. Like the way the MLS is, we're not playing. We will not see him or
Did you
play
already play them?
Miami. I think we might have played them
Okay.
once in Miami, but like they're not in our conference, so we play them once.
Okay.
One year they travel, the next year we travel, so it's weird. And maybe they
Okay.
might change that now that Messi's here and do a round robin,
Yeah.
so that all the teams can benefit from the star power.
Okay.
But right now, that's not the way things are set up. Like it was the same. Like I remember when Thierry Henry came, like his span of the MLS, he only came to Real Salt Lake once. He only came to Utah once to play us, and like it was nuts. But the point I'm making is the tickets that the teams around the league, like the prices haven't changed for the tickets. It's the
Okay.
resale that people are selling for like, I don't even know what the amounts are. But the point I was going to make is like, why would you do that? Like if I want to see Messi, which I've seen Messi live as you have multiple times, several times, playing at a better club and a better stadium for a fraction of what people want you to pay to go see Messi play DC United. To me, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And people are like, oh yeah, like, look, this is what he's doing for MLS. I'm like, no, this
No.
is what
Yeah.
resellers are doing for people who may not have ever had the opportunity. But like, I mean, if I have tickets, I'll go see him. But like, I can't imagine, like, if someone wanted to see Messi, they would have seen him. In my opinion, and
Yeah.
maybe I'm being nuts. I feel like they would have seen him by now, and if somebody that hasn't seen Messi has the ability to pay, how much do you think these tickets are going for? Like I've seen up 500 plus.
Yeah.
If
I've
they're
seen
going
it.
for
I've
more,
never saw. Yeah.
but if they're going for more than games to go to the Heat game, like the NBA Finals, I guess if you're a nosebleed, it could be 500. But like a decent seat is at least a couple grand. But let's just say
Okay.
$500. If you have $500 to go pay to see Messi play against New York City FC, my guess is you probably had enough money to go to Barcelona or Paris at some point in the last 15 years to see
Yeah.
Messi play at a real club.
Or
So
even a
why would
Copa
you?
America game when they've played in
Or
the States as
even,
well.
yeah, exactly. Like yeah, exactly. Or when Barcelona
Just the
has come
friendlies.
here on
Yeah.
tours. Yeah. So I just feel like who's like, sure, you might be asking for $500, but who's gonna pay? Like, I feel like
I mean,
every
I
like
think
that's
people. I think someone will pay though. I mean, because I do think that. But I also don't know. How do they know when his first game is? Do we know when his first game is? Is that's not
we
even
don't know
like.
when his first game. No, we don't know. We don't know
Okay.
when his first game is.
Okay.
They're speculating. Like I would say, if you have a ticket where you're playing Miami in August, you're probably good. Late
Okay.
July, it's a toss up.
Yeah, he needs
Maybe
his
not.
time off, and he needs to do the national team thing, and he has to get a
Yeah,
vacation and a little breather. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, okay, then people will do it, but that's not the league benefiting. Like that's
No, that's not.
resellers
Yeah.
benefiting. The league, I think they'll benefit. Like obviously, like the tickets will sell. Like venues will sell out when he comes, which that
Exactly.
makes sense. Merch, ad revenue, perhaps highlights,
Apple
all that stuff. Like
benefits
that's all
big.
good. App, yeah, but come on, like $500 to
Yeah. No.
see. I
No.
mean, in Miami, it's in Miami's in last place, and this isn't a criticism against Messi. This is just I hate scalpers and resale because like that's nuts. I wish people wouldn't buy them because that's crazy. Like you can buy a flight. Like say you have three people that you want to go see the game, you could buy a flight to Barcelona and see. Could you? That's I mean I feel like I've made my point. That's all I got to say. But yeah, he's going to MLS. It's great for Major League Soccer. I don't think anybody, is debating that.
Yeah.
And, I guess the question is, and I mean, so they're saying Miami's in the last place. Do you think Messi is going to actually make a sporting effort to like compete in Major League Soccer, or is
I
he just
do.
going to
I think
cash the?
so.
You think so?
I think that I mean maybe it's not going to be the same effort that he was given 6 years ago for Champions League semifinal for Barcelona or something, but yeah, I do think that he's going to be giving an effort. I mean, I think it's like the same as you and me, like you and I go and play whatever like pickup game or rec league or whatever, but we still give our, I don't want to be the guy that's like, "Oh, this dude sucks." So next, the next weekend I come to play or whatever, like I'm trying to put it in, week in and week out, but I don't know. I mean, it's definitely going to be. He's not going to have to push as hard to give that maximal effort that he was giving here in Europe. So I don't know. I obviously the competition's not as good, so he's not going to have to, you know, expend as
Okay,
much
fair.
energy.
Yeah, but yeah, fair enough. But you think he's going to be competing as hard as he can to see his team succeed?
As hard as he can, I don't know about that. I just because I also think that
Eh.
for as hard as I can, I need to have at least one other person that's on my level. You
Yeah, it's a
know,
weird. Yeah,
so
yeah. Well, yeah, it's weird because it's the worst team in the league
yeah,
with the
no
best
coach.
player in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, like I'm saying, if he didn't try as hard as he could, I feel like no one could really be upset about that. But
I
I
don't think
mean,
anyone's gonna know either. It's MLS where the competition is, and it's MLS fans. And no offense, to MLS fans for the most part, they aren't gonna. They're not going to be these Parisians who are like booing him week in and week out. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not to say that they don't know good effort or good football, but I think that they're just happy for him to be there.
oh, I agree. Yeah, I don't think he'll get booed. Like, even if he's
Yeah,
not going as hard as he possibly could, like, yeah, I think they're just happy that he's there.
yeah,
Like, they're just grateful that he's there. And at the same
yeah.
time, it's like, I mean, you walked into a really bad situation, and I just, again, I think we talked about this. Like, if Miami doesn't make it to the playoffs, or at the end of 2.5 years, he's done nothing in Miami besides
Yeah.
play and score a few goals here and there. Like,
It doesn't matter.
I personally, I feel, yeah, I feel like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't matter.
and I kind of feel like it's smart. Like, okay, I put myself in a situation where like it's almost impossible for me to like succeed in terms of like trophies in Major League Soccer because, like you said, no coach, team sucks.
Yeah.
So like this is like he put. I feel like he put himself in a really good situation. Like the
Amazing
stakes are
situation.
low
Yeah.
and the upside is very high. So
Yeah. His family knows
congratulations.
Miami. I don't know if they've kept any of the multiple homes that they've had there, but they know Miami. They've at least owned homes if they don't still own homes there.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's basically little. It's the most Hispanic place probably in all of the United States. So it's going to be a very
yeah.
comfortable situation for them. And yeah, like they're in last place, it, but it's Miami. It's like you can live up the life. You got all the money in the world to do that. I'm happy that he did
Yeah.
that and he didn't take 400, 500 million a season to go to Saudi Arabia. This seemed like a move that he made for him and his family. It wasn't a sporting move. It really wasn't, like a move about football or about money. Even he said, he's like, if I wanted money, I'd have gone to Saudi Arabia. But I'm doing this for
Yeah,
my family.
which I respect as well.
Absolutely.
Doing something, considering your kids and your wife,
Yeah.
and giving them a lifestyle over. I mean, would I pick the lifestyle over the money? Well, I don't know because I'm not Messi, and I don't. Messi already has probably a
All the
billion in the
money.
bank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so very easy. Also, like, and then you think about it from like if his goal is to like continue playing with the national team, well, now you're in Miami to get back and forth from Buenos
Easy.
Aires,
Yeah.
easy. Also, a lot of the training camps sometimes happen somewhere else in North
Exactly.
America. So it's
A
like,
lot of times Miami, New
you're,
York. Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, there's, for him, for like a personal ambition side for his country, this is also makes more sense. Cause like,
Yeah.
you know how it what was, they're always coming home like a day late from when they
Yeah.
report back to Paris because of the way that the Call Me Bulls schedules
Yeah.
go. And there's, anyway. All right. So, I mean, anything else you want to say about Messi? I think where
I,
I end is just I'm just happy he's here, and
yeah.
whatever happens, happens. We'll just be happy to you know, see the man in the league. I never thought this would happen, so it's
Yeah.
pretty remarkable.
It's remarkable. Yeah, no, the last thing I say is that uh I am happy. I'm also happy for Apple. I think Apple is one of the biggest winners here. They put like a billion down to win the rights for the next 10 years. And I think that they maybe foresaw some big players coming. I don't think they foresaw it in the first 6 months of owning the rights of MLS MLS TV. So
Yeah,
it's pretty good for them. It's pretty good for hopefully like the future of sports streaming. But
yeah,
I mean, we talked about it. Like you said it a while ago. He should have, he's completed the game of football. go and do whatever you want now. Don't really doesn't really matter. You don't have to be taking all of the criticism from Europe anymore. And he did just that. So I'm really happy for him for that reason as well.
Well, yeah, because I feel like a lot of people will be like, oh, like Zlatan played in Europe until he was 48. Ronaldo stayed in Europe until he was 38 and all this stuff. But it's like the difference is they still had, you
Something to
know,
chase.
so, well, I guess, I mean, maybe Zlatan, I guess Ronaldo
Champions League.
technically didn't have anything
Yeah.
left to chase
At club level, no.
from
I mean, at club
from a
level, yeah,
club
no.
level,
Yeah.
but also at the same time, like you didn't complete soccer in the same way that Messi did. So it's
Yeah.
like you didn't have that same sense of like accomplishment where I can just walk away with nothing left to prove. Even though, like, to
Yeah.
be honest, like Zlatan has nothing to prove,
It's
Ronaldo
totally.
has nothing to
Yeah.
prove. None of these
No.
guys have anything to
Yeah.
prove. A lot like
Yeah.
Benzema doesn't have anything to prove, but like
Yeah.
it's like the optics aren't the same where it's like, okay, I can retire at 35 because I'm like definitively
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
I can retire. Like Julian
Yeah.
Alvarez, he can retire tonight if he wants to. He done more than Messi did. He can retire. That's just calling. I mean, I guess he needs to win the Club World Cup next season, but he won like what the Copa or
Yeah.
Copa
Yeah.
yeah, so he done it a little bit different than anybody. He might be the first. He might go, somewhere. He might come win a Champions League come when he comes to MLS, and he's the first person to win a Champions League in 3 continents. But that's
Right.
for another day.
Yeah, no,
That's
but
for another
on that
day.
note, like, it was a sad week. It was a sad week with Eber retiring. That guy, I looked up to him since I was like a child. Obviously, he's older than me.
Yeah,
So he was one of the first that I was like, this guy is my idol. Had the long hair
yeah.
like him, had the fake Inter or and AC jerseys when I was younger. so
Dang.
so it was sad to see him leave and to see Messi leave Europe in the same week. So whatever,
Yeah,
life goes on, but it's crazy that that we're getting older and these things are coming to an end.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, Benzema leaving Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ronaldo
Times
last year.
change, people move on. Yeah, games moving on, new faces.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what else did we want to cover in this
Do you have
short,
time?
super short? Yeah, I probably got 1 sec. Actually, I shouldn't do that. We got 5 minutes. Let's just go 5 minutes. We'll end at the bottom of the hour.
I mean, do you just want to recap the Champions League final?
UCL. I mean, honestly, I didn't watch all. I got to be honest. So I had a soccer match at the same time. So our game started
Okay.
at noon. Champions League started at 1. So I only got to watch like part of the second half. I saw the goal,
Yeah.
and I saw Inter had an opportunity to level, and
Yeah.
there was excellent goalkeeping, and I felt like it seemed from what I saw it was a good game. They didn't run away with it, so I feel like
Yeah.
Inter weren't embarrassed. They just lost a game to Man City. Now Man City has completed the treble. Shout out to I guess Man City. I put on the old
There you go.
retro edition just
Love that
to
one.
commemorate it. Maybe had I been able to watch the game and wear this during it, they wouldn't have won and Inter would have walked away. But all I can say is congrats. You know, better team
Yeah.
won. Kevin De Bruyne got hurt in the process, but everyone looked happy. I wish Erling Haaland would have scored. If I'm
Yeah.
being honest, that would have been cool. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those games where I think I mean, obviously we talked about it a lot. I just wanted I wanted City to finally win it and just get it over with so we could stop talking about will they win, will they finally do it. Really happy for Pep, another treble under his belt. Really happy, obviously, for Holland, that whole City team. Like, there's, everyone on there's like a likable guy. Seem to get along really well. The the whole training squad, everything, like the crew that develops them and everything. I don't know. It seems like everybody gets along really well. So I'm really happy that they won it, and now we can start talking about hopefully someone else, or not hating on them every time they they lose it or something. But I would have that Erling Haaland had a shot. Lukaku had a shot, but also like we talked about this like a couple weeks ago. I mean, they just didn't. They just looked rusty against United a bit in that first half, and they kind of had that same look coming out against Inter. It was just not like, I don't know. It wasn't that high flying City that we have been used to seeing the last few weeks of the Premier League. It looked like that first draw, that first game against away to Madrid, where it's like they kind of like weren't incredible, but they had it under control. So
Yeah.
yeah, that Rodri goal was amazing though. Shout out to Rodri.
Yeah, just ran up, ball just square ball, ran up to it, popped it in. Easy
Yeah,
peasy. That was the difference. So, I
yeah.
mean,
Otherwise, no one
I
played great. It wasn't like
yeah,
a great
yeah,
game of football.
exactly.
It's like,
Yeah,
eh,
it was like
great.
yeah. Yep, this is I feel like this is one of those where it's like watching the highlights of the game isn't like no one's going to go back and watch these and like feel
No,
anything. This wasn't like a classic Champions
no.
League match. And to be fair, neither was Chelsea's last Champions League match where
Yeah,
they won against Man City last time. It was just one goal. It was
yeah,
scrappy. There was nothing pretty about it. There was nothing to write about. But, they got the mission accomplished. That's all that, when you look back in history, all they're going to say is, Man City did the treble in
yeah,
2023. And that's all that
yeah.
matters.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, but like but Inter did kind of knock them off their. I felt like they kind of. I mean, they went full kind of Italian football on them. They knocked them off their game a bit. They were a little scrappy. They took advantage of these fouls. I thought
yeah.
Inter played well, and it kind of was in their favor for a bit, especially with De Bruyne going out. But City was just obviously too good.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, good for them. Um, yeah, and I guess just one last thing. I mean, I guess just to wrap this up, got about 2 minutes left.
Mhm.
Inter runners up medal, player on the team, Romelu Lukaku. A lot of people are wondering, what's next for him now. You had a disaster at Chelsea, you went back to Inter. A lot of people will say that Inter, outperformed what their expected output would be. Um, you know, So is he going back to Chelsea? Is he going to stay at Inter? I think for me, Inter can't afford him for another
Yeah,
season. They probably can't afford Lautaro Martinez for another season. So either he's going to have to, take a huge pay cut or he's coming back to Chelsea.
yeah,
I think he's just going to come back to Chelsea. Inter, I mean, for what it's worth, I think Inter is like Edin Dzeko's like 40 at this point, and I can't see him taking a pay cut because at the end of the day, this is a business. I
yeah,
think, we all have agreed that, no one's taking, like, hardly anybody's taking pay cuts for the love of the game. So I
yeah,
doubt very seriously that would happen.
yeah.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think that yeah, Inter. I'm really happy with the way that they've been playing these last 3 years. I mean,